All right, it's Kneecap Biting with Smokin Jeremy B. You know what time it is? I do not own the rights to this music.
Here locally in the community. Make sure y'all go check out Kneecap Body by Jeremy Smokin.
All right, it is the NFL Roundtable Talk, and unfortunately, guess what? I don't have a single frickin' fan outside of Lions fans, and I don't care. We can still talk NFL news. Let's introduce my guests. I got Richard Head. I don't hear him.
How's it going, guys?
And I got Big Dan Davis.
What's up, everybody?
Got a couple more that might be popping in soon. Pretty soon, Dan Leonard will be back after he gets his drink. So how's everybody's week going this week?
Really good. It's hump day. 2 more days, and it's payday.
Hump day? Yeah.
Hump day!
And I'm chilling. My day's been pretty good. I leave for Minnesota tomorrow morning for that Lions-Vikings game. I'll be there.
Yeah, you got the weekend off. Enjoy it. Meet up with Rob Haspels and crew.
Yep.
Possibly the Tej and the Blue crew.
I'll see them.
Awesome. You got your swim trunks with you?
I will.
You know why. You gotta hit that hot tub.
Oh, for sure.
And we got a comment here. Vic Lesser says, hotter than balls down here. Supposed to be 100 tomorrow. You can have it.
Yeah. I'll take the nice Michigan weather we're getting.
That's what you get for being Louisiana. We've got some gorgeous weather up here ourselves. That being said, let's get into it. I'm going to start with you, Big Dan. Top 3 offenses in the NFL, and that would be the Bills at number 1 with 72 points scored. Number 2 is a tie, so there is a 2A and 2B. There's no 3. It's the Kansas City Chiefs and the Detroit motherfucking Lions. How about that?
That's pretty freaking sweet. This last game that we played against Washington, that was our 3rd straight game dating back to last year with us scoring over 30 points. So, that's just pretty freaking awesome, I think.
And it's also the first time that's been done since the 1952-53 season, when both seasons they were world champs. I'm not saying that's happening, but the last time that we had the first 2 weeks score 35 points was 1970, the year I was born.
Yes, sir. What's up, Woody?
Woody Frank Gagemi says, what's up, everyone? And Victor Lester says, yeah, buddy. Ken Ballrick pops in and says, what's up, guys? And Richard Head, what's your take on the top 3 offenses in the league?
Anytime you can get mentioned in the same breath as Kansas City and Buffalo right now, that's a good thing. That being said, it's legitimate. They have had backup offensive linemen. They've had other starters not play, and yet they are still scoring and keeping up with those 2 teams.
Facts. I wrote my editorial about the Lions are explosive. Go check that out at southfloridatribune.com, where you see the little 3 bars for the menu. Drag down to see Motor City Tribune. You will see my list. I have 6 articles available after 5 days. So, yeah, I've been busy. I'm doing another player profile soon.
Even
That's awesome.
Dan, what do you think about the top 3 offenses in the league?
Like I just said, even a blind squirrel can find a nut sometimes.
And not usually our Lions.
Nah, they're playing good. I'll give them that. We're all surprised that they're that high.
Yeah, we didn't expect to see this type of scoring until J-Mo was back.
I didn't expect it even after he got back.
I did. I told you we would.
I told you Goff's a bum, though.
I don't care what. It's not all about Goff. It's about the whole team.
It's also about the offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson.
Yes.
You look at what he's done since he's taken over. It is really remarkable.
He keeps it up with our offense, man. He's going to be in line for an available head coaching job someday.
Now let's get Jamison Williams, and they will be really explosive 100%. And Micro Mike comes in and says, winning. Yes, sir. That being said, I do want to say the line for Minnesota has already dropped from 6.5 to 6. So get your bets in now, because I have the feeling it could go all the way to 3 by Sunday, especially with how piss poor the Minnesota Vikings played.
Yeah, they did not look good at all. My fantasy team enjoyed it.
Minnesota is going to be tough coming into this game.
His initials are BJ. Of course he's zepped it.
Sunday, Minnesota is going to be playing all pissed off and shit, though, because they didn't hand Delvin Cook or Madison the ball enough. I expect them to open up with the run game hard.
And yeah. Victor Lester says to Dan, hope the Giants piss on the Cowboys parade, Dan.
Amen to that.
And Vic Lester said, I put my money on the Lions. I am too. That being said, next up, it's a list we're not on. No team that is represented here because it's Giants and Lions tonight. The top 3 defenses in the league, and I can't believe I'm saying this. I got to get back to it because I just can't believe it's going that way. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are the number 1 defense for yards and points at 6.5. Buffalo is number 2 with 8.5 points, and number 3 is the San Francisco 49ers. How?
Scoring games, that's how.
I'm going to say that won't change, except the Bills will probably still be number 1 or 2.
Yeah, I think the Bills will be number 1 by the end of the league. And if you want to go a little further, Denver's 4, Jacksonville somehow is 5, Minnesota's 6, Green Bay's 7, New England's 8, 9 is Dallas, and 10 is the New York Giants.
About to be a lot higher after Monday night.
Yeah, I had to see so.
I hope so. I hope the Giants just destroy the Cowboys.
And Micro Mike says, I have the Lions winning 31-30. I have the Lions winning 2, with maybe just a little more separation in there, but not much. If I was Johnson and Campbell, if Shark don't get his shit together, I'd give Cephas a lot of his reps. You know, I thought Cephas would have came in after the first half with all the drops we saw against Philly. It may have been a different game.
I kind of disagree with that comment. Sorry, Jeremy, go right ahead.
I'm not saying take Shark out because Shark is the deep threat that leaves the underneath stuff open, but I would have put Cephas in for Reynolds or Raymond. Both of them drop passes to begin with. And Cephas wouldn't have dropped that end zone pass either.
Just take Raymond out and give Cephas that spot because I don't like Raymond at wide receiver.
I hate Raymond at wide receiver.
What I was about to say, though, is you already seen last game, like teams are worried about Shark. They're making them go to other options. That's why you see him in double and triple coverage.
And right now we got Detroit Dom from the mean streets of Livonia. What's up, Dom?
Not yet.
Where they steal your cigarettes from your desk.
What did you say, Dan?
I told him what happened off your workbench today earlier before we went on. So.
He said
the rest of the story. No one stole my cigarettes. I didn't have any cigarettes. I smoked my last one on my way to work. In my head, I thought I stopped and got more, but then I looked at my banking app and I'm like, no, you didn't. Then one of my female friends felt so bad about it. She's like, "Oh, I left something at your house," and I went and got the mail, and I had already totally forgot. So I go out there and go. I'm like, "Is it Polaroid nudes? I hope it's Polaroid nudes." It was 2 packs of cigarettes.
Oh, nice,
nice,
awesome.
What he actually said was the mean streets of Livonia where people steal your cigarettes off your desk.
I cannot take credit for the phrase "the mean streets of Livonia." That's a Sean Belizean thing. I wish
Good luck with that, DC 80901. He says he may hit on the trivia chick tonight. I'll keep you posted.
Send a picture in the comments and ask what her credit score is. I might be interested.
Yes.
Pretty much, literally, because I have a lot of female friends. So whenever I hear the name of a female that I don't know, I'm like, let me see. What does she look like? What's her credit score? Does she rent her own? What's her yearly salary? Any warrants? Any felonies? Got any kids? Do you take care of them?
Does she pay child support?
Right. These are the questions you have to ask when you're, 42 and still single.
Were you recently a ward of the state?
Oh man, we had fun over the show. Dom, the first subject was the top 3 offenses in the league. As you know, is the Bills, Kansas City, and the Detroit motherfucking Lions. What do you think about that?
I've said all off season. I mean, I feel like a broken record when I say this because last year and going into this year, not to mention all of the Stafford years, I've always thought we've had a capable offense because we pretty much always have. It's just other than 2014 and maybe one other year, our defense has always been trash. So I go into a lot of the season saying the same thing. Just score 4 touchdowns and stop them from scoring 4 touchdowns, and you'll be in a lot of games, but we don't win close games.
Right. And Micro Mike says, does she have 3Ds? Brian Roy says, hi, guys. And DC 8091 says, dude, she works trivia. That's why I'm going to keep you posted. The other one was the top 3 defenses, and I have them up in front of me. That is Tampa Bay with only allowing 6.5 points, Buffalo allowing 8.5 points, and San Francisco allowing 10.
Buffalo, I'm not surprised. They have probably 1 through 52, 53, whatever. They probably have the best roster in the NFL. If not, it might be Philadelphia. Buffalo's defense has been good to very good for 3 or 4 years now. Who's the other one? Frisco. Yeah, their defense is always tough. I've got I pushed San Francisco back into the potential contenders list now that Garoppolo's got the keys to the whip. Although, who's their 3rd string quarterback?
Who's that?
Frisco.
I don't even know because we got him. Brock Purdy.
Sudfield.
Brock Purdy.
Oh, so I mean, odds are he sees some snaps and some starts this year because the next time Jimmy Garoppolo makes it through a season healthy will be the first time.
Let's welcome in Russell Wayne. How you doing, brother?
Oh, my buddy Russ.
I am doing just fantastic, and gosh. I'm sorry, I was in 2 conversations there for a second, and then I didn't realize I was on the stage. So, okay.
Yeah, I just looked at it. I was like, oh, there he is. What do you think about the top 3 offenses in the NFL right now?
The top 3 offenses. Can you catch me up to speed?
The Bills are number 1, and I think this team called Kansas City's number 2, and tied with them, it's the Detroit Football Lions.
Yeah, I mean, I think
technically not tied. Go ahead, Russ.
I'm just thinking with the 3 offenses, it's like I think that the rest of the world is in sticker shock right now because it's like, oh, the Detroit Lions. I think that the first knee-jerk reaction is, oh yeah, right. The Detroit.
Hang on.
Wait a minute.
Top scoring offense or just total yards?
Scoring.
Top scoring offense.
Technically, we've only scored 69 points on offense.
So does it matter? I mean, we're the top of something, guys. This is weird.
And even Detroit, at 69, we're still 3rd place.
Minimally, I could say that the 6 of us, along with a host of others, like the in the know Lions fans, I'm not that surprised. It's the casuals and the people that say same old Lions. They've never done shit. They'll never do shit. But like,
Golf
you know, I
sucks.
have, yeah, I have other, you know, friends that are knowledgeable football fans, not Lions fans, but like people in the know. They really aren't that surprised. I'm not surprised.
I said it could happen.
no.
Ken Bauer comes in. I don't understand why the Niners got rid of. They didn't get rid of Bosa. There's 2 Bosas in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both
Keep
men take the face on the field of play.
But a lot of those casual fans that sit there and try to say SOL and all that other same garbage, those are the same people who thought drafting Malik Willis at 3 or 2 was a good idea.
Fact.
Yes.
Fact.
Yes.
By
the way, did anybody see Malik Willis from the middle of the 3rd quarter to the end of the game?
It was
not pretty.
I will play devil's advocate, though. He was playing against Buffalo.
I don't care. It wasn't pretty.
It wasn't.
He's a one read and run quarterback, and they made him pay for it.
It is a worthy note, though, Jeremy, with it being Buffalo. Buffalo with Von Miller. I mean, wow. That team is
the rich got richer.
Yeah.
If Buffalo doesn't make the Super Bowl, that is a huge disappointment for them. But I'm a lucky Buffalo fan. A couple of my pretty good fans are like, you know, us in Buffalo, we can commiserate quite a bit. They've been to 4 Super Bowl. Here's a question. Would you feel better or worse over all these years if we had to trade places with the Buffalo Bills? That's a question, right?
They make the playoffs every year, but they don't get to the big dance.
Stealing victory from the jaws
I mean, I'm
of
speaking
defeat.
more so about the 90s. Like, how, I mean, one or more of us probably would have had a stroke or a heart attack the first time we made it to the Super Bowl and not even seen the game.
Is Jim Kelly the best quarterback to not win a Super Bowl of all time?
Him or Dan Marino?
Oh, Marino.
Really?
And, yeah. Oh, Dan Marino's way better.
How well did Marino do against Jim Kelly in the playoffs?
The Bills had a much better team.
Calhoun Lyon makes a correction for us. The Lions are first with 69 points. Bills and KC both have defensive touchdowns.
Oh, good call.
Oh.
Okay.
So we are number 1 in scoring offense.
Yes.
Did you say number 1 on the list?
We are number 1 on the list.
You just made the list.
All right.
Yeah. That being said, I know how you feel about this, Dom, but I'm going to ask, will we see another record broken on Sunday when the Detroit Football Lions take on Minnesota? Because right now, if he breaks that 8+ receptions against Minnesota, he will be the only wide receiver to have done that in 9 straight games. Just like he's the only wide receiver in NFL history for 6 straight games to do 8+ receptions and 1+ touchdowns per game.
Well, you know who he's tied with the oh wait, no, I'm sorry. He broke Calvin's consecutive touchdown streak. I didn't know about that other one. I just thought you meant is he gonna break his own record?
You know what record I think is going to be broken on Sunday, Jeremy? I think that Aiden Hutchinson is going to break the touchdown record on how many times he touches Kirk Cousins' head down to the pavement. Number 1 in touchdowns, Aiden Hutchinson.
Is there any way we can get that game flexed to prime time?
I said the same thing as soon as I watched that Monday night debacle.
Oh, you want a chance to win the game? Okay, you want an unfair advantage. I see.
Brian Roy says yes.
I think we win that game, and I do not think the record gets broken. I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, even towards the end.
That means they're going to stop doubling Shark to double Amon-Ra underneath, and then Shark gets to open deep.
Right.
Exactly. Or Hawkinson or Reynolds.
I don't want to throw a ball to Hawkinson ever again.
Yeah,
I don't either, but you have to. You have to at least give him targets.
Yeah,
I'm not feeling it either.
I'm still feeling pretty good about that those jukes that he had last week, and that he didn't fall down after he caught the ball.
No, what you know what TJ Hawkinson need? You know what this team needs even more than just TJ Hawkinson does personally? They need TJ to go off for about 9 catches, 170 yards, and 2 or 3 TDs.
Oh, like he did against Arizona.
Exactly. And this was where I drew that comparison because he came out like gangbusters the first game of his career, and then after that they took him away, and then it was Danny Amendola. That's why I see Shark or Hawkinson or Reynolds or Mr. Milk Carton Quintez Cephas. There's got to be something else going on with Cephas that we don't. There has to be something else going on with Cephas that we don't know about.
They had to use him at gunner to show why they kept him over Tom Kennedy. It was the special teams thing. We talked about it. We talked about it in the preseason, and they said, well, everybody says, well, Quintez Cephas doesn't play special teams.
It was even like the beat writers that were saying that.
I know. Beat writers are saying yeah, exactly. I've had enough of that shit.
I was saying this earlier.
Cephas, we love your son.
They need to take Raymond out of the wide receiver rotation and put Cephas there.
Yeah,
I don't like Raymond as a wide receiver at all.
Me neither. The only reason he had any targets or any catches last year is because the wide receiving group looked like the MASH unit.
No. I know what they need. I know what the Lions really need to do.
Kenny Golladay?
Yes!
No.
He's got the biggest cap hit of all wide receivers this year.
Yep.
Yeah.
They need to run the ball and continue to stick to running the ball. Eagles running all over them. And Dan Snyder looks like he's able to step right in.
We can only run the ball as much as the defense stops the other team from scoring will allow us. Of course, we want to go out and try to run the ball, and they're going to try. But if we get down 21 points, you got to start throwing it.
You think Swift breaks another run of 50?
I hope so.
Oh yeah, every week.
The way this offensive line is opening holes, yeah.
All right. Now we got a question for Dan Leonard since he's close to and loves his Giants.
What's up?
Why did Golladay clean out his locker after the game last Sunday?
Because he's a little bitch.
That about sums it up.
He's 6'4". I would say, if anything, he's a big bitch.
He's a big overpaid worker.
And Greg Rice chimes in and said, I heard Terrell Owens is still available.
Chad Johnson, too.
I take them both
Dan, what's your personal feelings or guess as to what's going on with Golladay? Like, you've got to know something that we don't know.
From what I heard, he's on the fucking trade block. We're probably going to eat a ton of the freaking cap for him. Well, the salary cap hit on him.
Right.
Just out of there. But he only got 2 snaps at all last week.
Two snaps
Because the way they're running the marriage time right now.
That's even better than Hotel Motel Golladay Inn.
Every time you used to make a catch, we'd be in our group of people, and every time you make a catch, I'd be like, Golladay.
Hey, come on, let's be honest. What year was 2018, 2019? We all had a big man crush on Kenny Golladay.
Okay, Michael Hawk comes in and says Okudah needs to come up big against JJ. While I agree, I think he can. Will he? There's another story.
I don't think they're going to match them up.
Facebook user says, hey, Dan, so is Des Bryant.
It's my quarterback.
Des Bryant bet, 10 grand on the Cowboys last week?
Yeah, out of real night, no shade to Watson. What are the odds that J-Bo has a better statistical year than Watson? I'm already on the opinion Dobbs outplays Watson. Yeah, I think J-Mo will have a statistically better year.
Yeah, Jeremy, I actually came on this show. I was the one that called out Dobbs as the guy from
and I agreed with you. I agreed with you. I think he's a more complete receiver than Watson.
Yep.
Yes!
Greg Rice,
better route runner.
What up, guys? God bless. I'm at work. I will chime in when I can. One pride. And my dad says that was a pretty good Madonna there, Russ.
It was.
It was.
If I closed my eyes, I would have thought it was the Ann Arbor native herself.
Thank you, Ken. I've been actually working on that all day just for this show.
I'm jealous, but you have that musician background. Like, my voice won't go that high anymore. My brain thinks it will, But then I record it, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Just
Oh,
tap
come
yourself
on now.
over.
Take a holiday.
We'll
I
have to hear
can't.
some of them battle bars. I actually thought that you said that you wanted to battle rap one of them Viking fans and be like, let's go.
Yeah. Hey guys, just got
I
home, but do you
can't-
think that
I
St.
don't-
Brown?
Go ahead.
Do you think that St. Brown will have a consistent year after last week? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or
Most definitely.
I still think my original projection comes true. His usage goes down because DJ Shark and Reynolds and J-Mo when he comes back and Hawkinson and Swift out of the backfield are eating people alive, and Amon-Ra's just a decoy. And I said at the beginning of the in the offseason, I don't care who does what. And like I said, we might not see anyone get 1,000 yards because five guys have 800.
I got something on Amon-Ra. So Amon-Ra's been on my keeper fantasy football league since last year, and he's been projected to do 13 points since week 12 of last season, and he's done nothing short of 25 points in every single game. And Amon-Ra's here, and he's here to stay. So I don't know if it's like, oh, he needs to develop and give him some more time, and then he's here. He's here. He's a top 10 receiver, and he's here to stay. Deal with it.
He is the second.
Amon-Ra coming down the back stretch.
Here he is. Here's what he is. He is the second best wide receiver in the NFC North this second.
And you can sprinkle him in and give him carries out the backfield. He had 2 for 66 against Washington.
He's a little faster than I thought or realized.
Well, speaking of that, did you see that in the NFL's fastest NFL networks, when they did the fastest plays of the weekend, he was fourth at 21.09 miles per hour on the 68-yard run.
Hey, put some respect on that man's name. That is NFC Offensive Player of the Week, Amon-Ra St. Brown.
11 trained men face to face on the field of play.
And Brian Roy, I think Amon-Ra St. Brown is very capable to get 8 receptions and a touchdown in this game to break the record. Well, it would be breaking his own record with the touchdown. All he has to get is the 8 receptions, and he breaks that for the consecutive game streak for 8 receptions at 9.
So is it really considered breaking it, or is it still just keep setting his own at that point?
If he breaks, that is the record is Michael Thomas, and there was one other one in there. It was a tight end. Who was it? Antonio Gates?
Gonzalez.
Or no, it was Antonio Gates. Tony Gonzalez at 7.
Yeah, I was going to say one of those other guys. One of those other guys that played basketball in college, not football. Gonzalez played both.
And Michael Hook said, Quinn loved Golladay. Watch him end up in Cleveland. Well, they do have the most cap room right now. That makes sense.
And they need some help. It kind of depends on which Amari Cooper we see going forward. Is it week 1 Amari Cooper, who was also on a milk carton, or is it week 2 Amari Cooper, who had 110 yards and a touchdown? That's always been my biggest gripe with Cooper. He shows elite level talent for about 6 quarters at a time, and then he disappears for about 14. Yep. He's got all the talent in the world. He's a great route runner. He's a physical specimen. He's fast. He's got good hands. It's something above the neck with him.
And we got a great comment here by Greg Royce. Harrison Smith still on concussion protocol. Anyone impressed with the Vikings secondary? I like Dantzler, one of the few bright spots in that abysmal Monday Night Football game. Should we be airing it out? Yes.
They got Cine, didn't they?
They got Cine, and they're bringing in the other one if he can't come back.
Sweet. Test Cine all day.
So here's what they have now.
I wish we had J-Mo right now.
And last year, remember, Dantzler is the reason why Amon-Ra got his first 8 reception game.
Mm-hmm. Plus, Dantzler, go ahead.
It's dumb.
Something that we get to do now with how diverse that we are between running and passing is we get to impose our will. So if they give us the pass, then we'll pass it. If they're double team and all of our wide receivers, we're going to run the ball down their throat. They can't stop us offensively. You said something the other day, Dom, that I loved it, and I can't wait to put it out there. But if they don't score 35 points, they don't have a prayer.
Right. That's what this team needs to do. We need to be 28 plus points every game. And the defense just have to hold teams to under 28.
Be aggressive. Try to get turnovers because the defense isn't going to
That's another
lock people
huge
down.
thing. Good call. Turnover, because that maybe the oldest adage. Can't even say adage. Just the oldest, one of the oldest golden rules in football since football. There's 2 of them. Well, 3. Run the ball, stop the run. Okay, there's 4. Run the ball, stop the run, control time of possession, and win the turnover battle.
Yep.
If
we're doing well.
Turnover battle week 1, we would have won that game.
God,
We won the turnover battle last week, and we won.
It also would have helped, and Brandon Gaudin pointed it out right away. On that route, Hockenson should have ran a stick route because he'd have been underneath the corners and the linebackers. He didn't get the nod from Goff, and he still went off script and did the double post in. And if you look where the ball went, at the time it was passed, TJ Hockenson was 20 yards away from the ball because you not only have to go with the depth he is there, the depth he went inside.
Yeah, Goff threw it to pretty much at the right spot based on where Hockenson was supposed to be.
And
that was Hawkinson's fault. I mean, for sure.
And if Bradbury didn't drop to his knees and see the ball was going to the wrong spot, he wasn't getting that interception.
I didn't even think about it till just now. But literally, what other head coach in the NFL right now is better served than Dan Campbell to grab TJ Hockenson by his face mask, shake him, and throw him on the ground? I'm
pretty sure it might have happened 3 times in the past 2 weeks.
All of a sudden, Vernon Davis was a fucking all-pro.
Yep.
I know. I saw Campbell.
Okay.
I saw Campbell chew his ass out on the sideline week 1.
Yeah, and everybody that's seen him say "I know" to him, and then they cut to commercial. I have friends that were at the game, and he rode his ass bitching all the way to the bench. So it was way more than just saying "I know" to him. That being said, we got a few comments to catch up. Brian Roy asks, "Who's the man in the red shirt?" That is Detroit Dom. He has been on many times. Facebook user, hey JB.
I have another admirer.
Ken backed it up.
I'm gaining more.
Who's going to be on Jefferson Sunday? It would have to be Okudah. He's our number 1 corner right now, and there's no denying it.
I think they're just going to play sides of the field.
Yep.
Unless unless Jefferson is just lighting Aurorier's titties on fire, then they'll switch. I think they're going to start and hopefully stay just on sides. But the thing is, Jefferson, because they just showed it the other night, he lines up all over the goddamn field.
I am slowly becoming less of a fan of TJ Hockenson because when we got him, it was because he was supposed to be an extra tackle in the run game. What has he done run blocking this year or for half of last year?
Liability.
Nothing.
Pancakes and nothing. His route running and everything looks lackadaisical. He's running slower than I've ever seen him run, and I've never seen this out of him, and I'm slowly beginning to label him as a bust.
You know what I think it is? I think he knows that Amon-Ra is a bigger threat than him in the passing game, and he's also looking over his shoulder like, is J-Mo healthy? Is J-Mo healthy? Is he coming back?
Hey,
I still say they got to try to use him.
Yep.
Since we're primarily looking to be a run-first team, I say just start Brock Wright at tight end. He's a blocking tight end.
If he has another bad game, I'm 100% on board with that. I'm on board with him, Mitchell, or whoever else can play.
Put him on the trade block. Won't like that rookie cap hit, but put him on the trade block. Somebody wants
You're talking about a first-round dead cap hit, which actually hits not only this year, but next year's cap.
I know.
You have to let him ride out the contract this year because we already picked up the 5th-year option.
You're right.
Next year is the year you can afford to trade him because if you do it this year, it's double the cap.
So hopefully he balls out the rest of the year and every week until before the trade deadline next year, and we can flip him for like a second-round pick.
Wait,
it's not like it's he hasn't had
Keegan
good plays.
Eckert. You say this, but doesn't Thielen have to play because he basically didn't play last week?
I mean, AO hasn't started out the season exactly on a high note, but he's still the best cornerback in the league that no one talks about. It's just Okuda's been playing so goddamn good, people forget about AO, and that's fine. Please test him, because I saw him get tested last year many times. You know what he usually did?
Russell Wayne bounced out.
Broke up the pass, or picked it off.
AO will probably be on Thielen because he is back practicing already. So Keegan Eckert, that's not a problem. We got AO back, which means Will Harris can be that in the box, blitzing, tackling on rundowns type of corner.
And I think you're going to
that he could be.
I think you're going to see a lot of that from Minnesota this week because they weren't able to run the ball at all against Philly. You look at Cook and
well, plus
I didn't know AO's timetable.
The clock is ticking on Dalvin Cook. It's when, not if he gets hurt.
Yeah, he's already been out for a couple preseason games. He came back healthy for the first game.
However, unfortunately, the same can be said about DeAndre Swift. But
yeah, I know. I don't.
Can we all knock in unison?
Just did it.
Okay. Please stay healthy, DeAndre Swift.
Hey, I don't want to jinx it by talking about it. That's the thing.
I feel you, but we
can't talk about it this early, though. He made it way further into the season last year than we thought he would.
True.
He
already had to sit out the midweek practice. But
okay.
Looked pretty good on Sunday. Go ahead, Dan.
Speaking of Okuda, I say he's due for his first interception this year coming up on Sunday.
Oh, not just an interception, sir. A pick six.
Yep.
Oh, shit. Hell yeah.
Pick six. And then he can walk into the end zone, and with his last 3 steps, hopefully he's mic'd up and he can be like, Darius Slay, who?
Yeah.
Although... did you guys watch that last Philadelphia game?
By the way, I triggered a whole bunch of Vikings fans in a chat because they were bitching about that. I was like, "Hey, all I know is that the connections between Kirk Cousins and Darius Slay is actually on point."
That Darius Slay guy is a wide receiver. Oh wait, when he had 2 picks, he dropped a third one. Probably could have had 4.
And 2 more pass breakups on JJ. He started the game with 2 breakups before he ever got a pick.
You know what's funny?
And as soon as that happened, you could see Justin Jefferson sulked, went to the bench, didn't talk to anybody, and sat there like this, like a big pouty baby. And he never played the same the whole game.
Darius Slay used to do the same thing to Stephon Diggs. That's why I was pretty underwhelmed with Minnesota Vikings Stephon Diggs. He got to Buffalo. I was like, holy shit, this guy's good. Having Josh Allen as the quarterback doesn't hurt.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah.
I should have left my last whatever podcast I was on last. It said Allen/Diggs greater than Mahomes/Hill was.
I kind of figured it was you, Quinn, because you're the only one that usually comes up and says JB, not on YouTube. It's Quinn's my wife's coven is a huge Vikings fan. When I was roasting her bad on Facebook, and I told her, just watch, Justin Jefferson's leaving the Vikings. They can't afford for that to happen.
Cousins will be gone in a couple of years.
Cousins may be gone mid-season next season when the cap hit isn't so huge because he just signed that deal.
That's why Lamar Jackson is foolish for asking for a fully guaranteed contract, because the only other person I know that's ever had one of those, it's fucking Kirk Cousins.
And Russell Wayne's having baby issues, so he might not make it back, and that's fine. We're getting ready to get to the fun part of our week, and that is our weekly Pick Ems. I'm getting out my list now. That way we can get to it.
I need a beverage. I'll be right back.
Yep. So I will start with Dan. Pittsburgh at Cleveland. Who you got?
Which one? Me or him?
Leonard.
Pittsburgh. Begrudgingly.
Dad?
Pittsburgh.
Richard?
I'm going to take Cleveland. You lost a heartbreaker last week, when you got stunned. I think they come out angry. I'll take Cleveland on this one.
Dan, Pittsburgh or Cleveland tomorrow night?
I already said Pittsburgh.
Yeah, so did I.
I said Dom.
Is that game at the Ketchup Bottle or Cleveland?
It's at Cleveland.
Cleveland, but it's close.
They lost to the Jets, dude.
Yeah, they lost to the Jets. I'm going Schittsburg.
I mean,
it's a division rival, though.
Here we go. Houston at Chicago, and Houston did give Denver fits. Richard, we'll start with you.
You know, Chicago got embarrassed by Green Bay. They did beat San Fran. Is it at Chicago or is it?
It's at Chicago.
I'm going to take the Bears. They play better at home. For some reason, they're really good at it. Soldier Field.
Dom?
Better implies good. Tie.
Big Dan.
Houston.
Dan Leonard.
Davis Mills.
Davis motherfucking Mills.
Davis Mills is going. Wait, I can't even do the math. What's 17 minus 8? 11?
Yep.
Wow.
9. Davis Mills is going 4-4-9 this year.
4-4-9 this year. Who do you got there, Dan Leonard?
Wow.
What's the least number of victories that have ever won a division? 7, right?
Yeah.
Jacksonville's winning that division with 5 wins this year. 5.
Okay. Dan Leonard, who's your pick? Houston or Chicago?
Houston.
I'm going Houston as well. I think Chicago is just that, Chicago.
Seriously, though. Like we've seen some bad. Dan Leonard especially has seen some bad NFC least divisions. We've seen some bad NFC West divisions. We've some bad
never
NFC
seen
divisions.
this bad of an AFC South division.
Seen, like is this even like is this the minor leagues team that got called up?
Yes.
Is this like the the Rhine Fire and the Barcelona Dragon?
What? 4-4-9 is 17 games.
No, we're not going to say nothing about Dom's math where 17 minus 9 is 11.
17. Wait, 17 minus 9. No, I said 11 the first time.
Yeah, you did. It's right. 8. It's 8.
Wow.
As smart as I am not good at math in my head, except for like percentages,
grams, ounces. You know.
I was.
Speaking of which,
I'm just agreeing with you.
I got something for you.
Me too.
At 58% completions, and he's only thrown a total of 65 passes. If you add in the 9 drops as receptions, what would Goff's percentage be?
I can't. Well, you got to figure there'd still be 1 or 2 drops. So
I'm just saying. I'm talking just the ones they counted that hit people in the hands as catchable balls, not the other ones.
How many completions has he had?
Let's see. He was 20 of 34, and then he was what in against Philly?
I can look real quick. Pro Football Reference is at the top of my non-bookmarks. I don't know never knew how to make a bookmark on an iPhone. I've had like 7 of them. No clue.
It's Pro Football Reference and then Pornhub.
I'm going to smoke about this real quick.
Because I just want the math done. Because I think it's somewhere between 63 and 65% with the 9 completions added in.
He is. He's 41 of 71. So with all the drops as catches, he'd be 50 of 71, which is 70%. So subtract 2 of those.
And he'd be at 65.
67 and a half, which is right where he should be. Right where he should be. 1 drop per week, that's forgivable. People are going to drop passes. Somebody's going to drop a pass.
They're not counting the ones when people were diving and they dropped it. They aren't counting the ones where they laid out and they dropped it.
You jump and it hits your fingertips. Those were, a drop is defined as a catchable ball.
Right, and like when a drop
chest.
is like when Josh Reynolds jumped up and the ball hit him right between the mitts perfectly, and he dropped it on that what would have been a touchdown because he had 3 yards of separation.
He dropped one. Didn't Sharks drop the touchdown pass as well?
Yep. And St. Brown dropped a couple.
69 points on offense, and we've left a minimum of 12, ideally 14 more points on the board.
Right.
We could be ready to lap these fuckers in points for.
Hey, Dom.
Yo.
Giants still have a better record than the Lions.
Don't care.
I'm rooting for y'all.
Yeah, I am too. I'm thinking at this point, the way it.
I don't know what the fuck is going on. Go ahead, Jeremy.
At this point, the way the season's going, I wouldn't be surprised if Giants are at least second in the division.
The
Giants preseason
and
too.
The Dolphins have 0 losses combined. The fucking Dolphins. Tua Tagovailoa just threw 6 touchdown passes.
And against 470 something yards. Yeah.
I think like 450.
420, 469.
Yes. 60. Nice. Somewhere Rob Gronkowski is smiling.
Yep. That being said, the next game up on the venue is Las Vegas at Tennessee. Leonard?
Vegas.
Big Dan?
Vegas.
Dom?
Vegas. Final score 9-4.
Richard?
I'm going to take the Titans. There's something about a team starting off 0-3. Teams usually get kind of desperate around that time. I think the Titans are
Raiders are 0-2. Raiders are 0-2 also.
I'm still going to straight up. I'm taking the Titans though. If you're to spread with it, yeah.
Is it at the Roomba or is it in Tennessee?
It's in Tennessee.
Oh.
I'm still
picking Vegas.
I'm going Raiders as well.
I have to tell you guys this the other day, because I've gone on record as having said this. I'm fairly certain that Derrick Henry has 1 foot in his NFL grave. I'm 100% certain that his best days are behind him. And somebody's like, "Oh, look at his quarterback," and I'm like, Nick Chubb doesn't seem to be having a problem with a man named after a cut of meat.
That same quarterback wasn't a problem when he had his breakout season too.
Right.
What are you talking about?
That being said, I took the Raiders. The next game on the venue.
And then this guy said that Brissett is better than Tannehill.
Yeah.
Come
yeah,
on.
exactly.
Well, again, this is where I get into semantics. Okay. Better implies good. Neither one of them are worth a shit.
No.
Although, I mean, Brissett would not have been on my list, but I've gone on record numerous times.
Once Golladay leaves the Giants, they will become Fansville football team that is in those Dr. Pepper commercials.
I forgot about his commercial.
Okay. The next game on the schedule. That's great. That's the best one yet he's came up with.
Go to that fan-controlled league with Johnny Manziel.
Johnny Manziel.
Terrell Owens and Chad Johnson.
He's going to go Todd Marijuanovich and start doing heroin at halftime in the Arena League.
Okay, next game on the schedule is Kansas City at Indy. I'm going to start us off. Kansas City, hands down. Richard Head?
Kansas City. That's
Dom.
Well, I'm not picking the Colts.
Well, they're 0-2 and they're at home.
They have a tie. Oh no, they're 0-2.
No. That's right. They're 0-1 and 1.
1-1.
Yeah, Big Dan.
Another team destined for multiple ties.
Yeah.
Kansas City is going to house the Colts. It's going to be bad. It's going to be like over 40 points.
KC or at the oil can? It doesn't matter.
It's at the oil can, and it doesn't matter.
But anyway, I'm just curious.
Mr.
Oh,
Leonard.
God damn it. I got Jonathan Taylor as my starting running back, too.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Trade him now.
Hey, let Leonard talk.
I'm going with making unanimous.
Okay, it's clean sweep. Buffalo at Miami. Anybody who doesn't say Buffalo has brain dead.
Or is a Dolphins fan.
Just raise your hand if it's Buffalo.
I can't raise my hand right now, so I'll just go.
Okay.
Buffalo, but it's close.
I don't think it's going to be even close.
No, Buffalo's going to mollywop them.
That defense is amazing.
Buffalo's going to win, but I think it's actually going to be a really high-scoring game in both teams.
Yeah, I'd want to bet the over on this one.
If Von Miller gets the Tua may not finish this game.
Tua
may not finish the game, period, if he throws the ball 50 times again. Remember the Simpsons episode where the kicker's leg fell off?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's Tua.
That's going to be Tua.
That's Tua's arm.
I'm going to save our game. our game for last. I'm skipping it for now. Next up, we got Baltimore at New England. I got Baltimore. Leonard?
I'm going with Baltimore.
Dan?
Baltimore. Baltimore.
Richard?
You got to go with Baltimore, man. I mean, look at those points they just put up.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Ravens, but I really need New England to win at least a couple games before we play them so that Patricia's still the offensive coordinator. The only reason why.
I submitted my video.
I want him to get fired. Or not fired, but demoted.
I submitted my video using the New England playbook on Madden. Maybe I'll get the job over Patricia, and then I can sabotage it.
After we beat them, Patricia will be demoted back to getting Bill's coffee.
With a Nintendo controller and a 10-yard fight playbook is better than Patricia. Yeah, I went 10-yard fight because there is no playbook. And you can't throw a pass past the line of scrimmage or it gets picked off. You literally just run with the quarterback or you pitch it and then run.
And then we got the Cincinnati Bungles going to play the New York hapless Jets. Dom, you're first.
Jets. And Bengals fans are on suicide watch. Did you see today Joe Burrow left Instagram and Twitter?
Yeah. Richard Head.
Wow. I mean,
Jets.
It's hard not to pick the Jets after last week. I'm going to take the Jets.
Big Dan.
I think Bengals start off 0-3.
I'm taking the Jets, and I just dumped Evan McPherson because he was my kicker, but I got rid of him.
I don't blame you. But anyways, Big Dan.
Oh, it's the Jets.
Shit, I might go pick up the Jets defense. You know they're going to get 7 sacks.
Dan?
What did you say earlier, Jeremy, about
let him speak. Let him speak.
Sorry.
Mouth. Let me talk.
Yeah, there you go.
Show your face.
Bengals, just because I can't take the Jets. I can't.
I got the Jets winning too.
No faith in the New Jersey Rough Riders / Saskatchewan Jets.
No.
Keegan Eckert says Von Miller is going to become to his daddy. That's how bad Miller will hit him and add the belt on top.
I don't know. You got Teron Armstead there as left tackle.
Michael Hutt says Jets. And Brian Roy, but would you bring Golladay on a much cheaper contract, Dom? No,
we don't need him.
Yes, you do.
No, we don't.
Minimum.
Trade for him.
No.
You need him.
The only reason I would be okay with that is because at least then I could go back to wearing my Kenny Golladay jersey with pride.
And Brian Roy said the Ravens for the Baltimore-New England game. Now we come up to the Eagles at Washington. Leonard?
I think we're all taking the Eagles, dude.
Yeah.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
I hate that fucking.
And then we got the New Orleans Aints versus the Carolina Panthers.
I'm taking the Foreskins in an upset.
Wow.
No BS.
Wentz has been like the number 2 or 3 fantasy
Revenge tour.
Tom, what exactly is in that thing that you're smoking right now?
This thing? Or this thing? Oh, this thing? Hey, it's legal in Michigan, goddammit.
It is.
I just wanted to make sure we knew you were on drugs. That explains
again.
I'm smoking weed, not eating mushrooms or taking acid.
Again, we are on to the next game. We got the New Orleans Aints versus the Carolina Panthers. Who you got there, Leonard?
The Saints.
Saints? Big Dan?
That's my choice.
I don't know. I'll take Carolina.
Ooh. I want to say something else real quick. Here's why I'm taking the Saints. Because they're in London this week, and the Queen's dead, so Jameis can't try to bang her, so his attention will be on football.
Oh, that's the London game?
Yeah.
Nope.
9. No, it's not. It's a 1:00 game. There's no London game this week.
Yes, there is.
It's not for a couple more weeks, I think.
It's 2 more weeks.
Oh, I think there's a London game this week.
No.
Hang on.
I'm looking at the schedule right now. It's 1 p.m.
Amazon Prime. Jeff Bezos, if you're listening, can I please get the HD feed during the first half this week?
I don't know if I could stand to watch a game on Amazon again because that shit kept cutting out and freezing and shit. I was getting pissed.
It worked fine on NFL Plus.
You trust me, like you were in no worse of a boat than me. Like my feed wasn't cutting out,
Oh, yeah, you're right.
But I literally felt like I was watching Hockey Night in Canada circa 1984.
Okay, I got New Orleans winning, and I think it's not even close. And they agree too. Richard Head, who did you have?
I'm going to take the Panthers.
You're going to take the Pampers. Okay. Dom?
Me too. I thought me and Dan were going to be on an island together, but that's 3 out of 5 of us.
All right.
You're the one that said Aints. Come on, it's Jameis Winston.
Yeah, but he was able to come back against the fail cunts. Oh, wait, everybody does.
So the sun came up.
The
sun went down on the Falcons.
Yep.
Hey, I've said it for a few weeks. The Saints are the biggest I don't know in the league. They might win 6 games. They might win 11.
Queen consort Camila was a side piece, so all bets off.
I remember seeing the tabloids when he got with her, and I was like, "Is that his mother?"
No, you know what?
I'm like, wait, his mother's the
all
queen.
Joking aside, the only quarterback you have to worry about not being focused with a queen around him is Zach Wilson.
Yeah. Zach Wilson.
Yep. That's
Sharpity Spears, boys. He's going cougar hunting.
Yeah, he was sorely disappointed when he signed his letter of intent to go to BYU when he found out the Cougars was an actual animal mascot.
So that's why I went to BYU.
I'm rooting for Zach Wilson, A, because he's a Jet, and B, because I want him to be what everyone thought that Sam Darnold was. Well, not what idiots thought that Sam Darnold could be.
Hey. You know what? We'll give Zach Wilson a pass.
I still think...
I read him a pass because throwing bombs and banging moms is the best tagline I've ever heard.
Despite getting this win this week against a better team, I still say Carolina sours on Baker, and they're just begging for Sam Darnold to come back.
Because and he's going to cross his hands and stomp in his Pampers and go, I don't want to.
But think about it. Like,
and then PJ Walker comes in and lights it up, and they go undefeated.
When Baker was in Cleveland, he had a good O-line. He had multiple good running backs, good receivers, and a good defense. What of those does he have in Carolina?
Richard's Head is a loser. LOL, they know. I think that's Mr. Jeffrey Simpson.
Oh, my gosh.
There's very few people who know that statement.
Can we find out if there's a prop bet on who plays less snaps this year? Is it Saquon? Is it CMC? Sorry, Dan. I'm rooting for Saquon. Is it CMC? Is it Dalvin Cook?
Keegan Eckert is the Queen's friend alive. Wilson has a reputation to uphold. He's on fire tonight. That being said, now we get to the first of the afternoon games. We got Crapsonville going out to take on the LA Chargers, who charger themselves.
Hang on. That is AFC South Division leading Crapsonville.
It is. 1-1.
Leading the division, and they already have a loss.
Put some respect on him, all right?
Hey, you know what?
Who are you taking, Crapsonville or LA?
Wait. Which with the blue and yellow team or the other blue and yellow team?
The other blue and yellow team. The Bolts. Which one are you taking, the Bolts, or are you taking the Jaguars?
Jags.
You're taking the Jags. Wow. Upset alert there, boys.
Chargers going Charger, and I think it's early in the year. They always go on a bad game skid every year. I think it's early this time.
Richard Head.
I'm taking the Chargers. Not only that, dude, I had Mike Williams on my fantasy team. I need him to go off.
Don't let your fantasy players cloud your judgment, sir.
See,
shut up.
I was going to take the Chargers, but I don't know if Justin Herbert's going to play or not because of that rib. So I'm gonna go with Crapsonville here.
That's an interesting take.
Who's the Chargers backup?
We know it's not Tyrod Taylor.
It's Chase Daniel.
San Diego, so we don't get. Are you serious?
It's Chase Daniel. They're gonna win. They're gonna win.
Chase Daniel and T-Law in a shootout.
Yeah.
And Chase Daniel wins by 2 touchdowns.
And then Jacksonville goes and signs him next year as their backup.
Right. That's how
That
it's going
guy
to
has
go.
the greatest backup career in NFL history.
He's got
does.
paid.
He's gotten paid.
Paid.
Dan Leonard, you did say Chargers, correct?
Goddamn right I did.
I have to. Oh, wait. I'm going to give you an innuendo here. I got to charge my phone. It's the Chargers.
It's not innuendo.
LA Rams at Arizona. It's crap in the NFC West versus crap in the NFC West. Who you got, Leonard?
I'm going to take the Rams.
Big Dan?
I'll take the Rams, I guess, but it'll be close.
Richard?
Man, I every time I bet against Kyler Murray, he always balls out and just somehow looks good. So I'm going to take Cardinals.
It must be in the first 6 weeks of the season every year.
Gotta
Is that game at the SoFi or in the desert?
That is in the desert.
Every matchup.
They're both in the desert. LA's a desert.
Hey, Dom, did you hear that? Statistically, once the new Call of Duty drops every year, Kyler Murray stats go to shit that week that it drops.
Yeah, I did see that. I blame that. I blame that on Cliff Kingsbury, though.
Yeah, it's
like he's a worse.
It's the Kingsbury flop.
He's a worse second half season coach than John Gruden, and that's saying something. That being said, Rams. Stafford gets right and does not throw a pick this week.
Oh, and it's a bird battle out west in Seattle. We have the fail cunts versus the sea chickens.
Oh my God!
Who you got, Dom?
Can we flex this game off the schedule?
Exactly.
Is it at Atlanta or is it at Seattle?
It is out in the place where it never snows, but it rains all the time.
It's in
Seattle.
I've got Eugene Cyril Smith III over the fail cunts. Final score 9-6.
That sounds about right. Richard.
Give me the Sea Chickens, man. Geno Smith is taking that team. Well, he's taking them to a top 5 pick.
Kenneth Walker is getting a little less unhealthy.
He's taking them to a top 5 pick, but I had this as their second win throughout the season before it even started. Dan?
Which one?
Big Dan.
I'll take them Sea Chickens, but this is going to be a shit game.
It is.
I'm projected to win by 0.2 points in my big money league where I'm somehow 2-0. I want to see about Kevin Walker. I'm
2-0-9 too because I beat Leonard.
Bullshit!
Leonard, your turn.
Quiet in debut. Pleading is okay. Apparently Walker is healthy and he'll get a few more carries.
Okay. Well, anyway, fuck that guy too. But I'm going to take Drake London's going to score 3 touchdowns, and I just want to put it out there. Fuck Geno Smith. Fuck
Who's throwing him the ball?
Who gives a shit?
Desmond Ritter, more than likely, at the way that game ended last week.
Drake London.
Where's Kyle Pitts?
I said after on our post first round of the draft show, Kyle Pitts' fantasy value is dropping because they got Drake London.
Remember that? They should both be better. Because and that was the thing. I was mad because Julio left, and Calvin Ridley, other than scoring touchdowns, him and Chris Godwin are the same guy. People thought that Ridley was good. It's like, no.
There's a message for you, Dad.
You got fucking Julio Jones.
Mr. Leonard.
We're coming for you this week in our league.
Quinn.
He doesn't even have the balls to say his name. Yeah, and then so Ridley gets suspended.
You know it's a cook boy when he brings him up.
What? He blocked a punt?
He blocked a punt and somebody else caught it and scored a touchdown. Troy didn't have a pick 6. Get your stats right.
No. He's saying in that game he'll have a sack and a pick 6.
Oh.
Well, I don't know how many regular defensive snaps he's getting just yet. He should get more because
he's by far their quickest linebacker on the team.
How fucking bad is Atlanta's roster? Jesus Christ.
It's a crap show.
Holy fuck. It's terrible.
Where?
And then
everywhere. Tell me Sunday's good.
Corners are okay. Their safeties aren't bad. Their middle linebackers are good.
Okay. That being said, we're on to the next game. Green Bay with the Tampa Bay no longer Gronkaneers. Who you got, Leonard?
Still taking Tampa Bay. Fuck Green Bay.
Is that in the gay boat or the cheese
It's in the
field?
gay boat. It's in the gay boat. Big Dan?
Tampa Bay, I think Aaron Rodgers has a shit record there, doesn't he? So, yeah, Bucks.
Richard?
Everyone's taking Tampa Bay. I'm gonna go with the Packers. I think.
Ooh.
You're a dickhead.
Dom?
I'm going Tampa, but also because when Green Bay loses and we beat Minnesota and Chicago's not beating anyone for 6 weeks, we're in first place.
Right.
Yeah.
And I am doing I'm on that same boat. I'm on that same boat. Tampa Bay goes ahead and says, "Who's your daddy?" to Aaron Rodgers.
Because he already pretty much did. He didn't come out and say it, but he pretty much did the relax after week 1, and he came out and stomped Chicago. But that's Chicago. So he lost his first game badly. Then he beat a shitty team by not that much. Yeah, they dominated, but they should have scored more points. Now he's playing a good team again. Right. Aaron Rodgers isn't really that good against good teams.
He's not that good against great defenses.
Right.
And Tampa Bay does have the lowest scoring defense.
I wonder if his coach will take the ball out of his hands again and kick a field goal or
Tampa with no wide receivers. I said as soon as I found out Golladay cleaned out his locker, these were the destinations he could be. Cleveland Browns, Green Bay, Chicago, and Tampa Bay.
Oh, please not Green Bay or Chicago.
I know, I say the same thing.
You know he'll he will be resurrected from the dead the first time he plays us if he comes to the division. I promise you.
And now we are to the Sunday night football game where the San Francisco 49ers go on to take the Russell Wilson-led Broncos, who actually look like shit.
If you guys see the meme talking about let Russ cook, and then there's a bowl with Fruit Loops, a piece of cheese, and 2 hot dogs and some milk.
I seen one where it looked like, Tampa signed Cole Beasley.
Yes, they did.
Oh, that's right.
So who you got winning there in Denver? San Francisco or Denver there, Dom?
Frisco. Denver is a mess right now, and I said it before,
Porn star Jimmy's starting.
Porn star Jimmy's a winner.
He is a winner.
You got it.
Porn star Jimmy.
I gotta go porn star Jimmy and the Niners, man.
It's crazy. I mean,
it's porn star Jimmy and the 69ers.
Leonard.
Again, I'm going with porn star Jimmy.
Me too. I'm picking the porn stars. The Pornsteiners, 69ers, I got it all the way. All right, the Monday Night Football game. The Dallas, America's team Cowboys go on to take the undefeated New York Giants. Leonard?
NFC East, god damn it. Best team in football right now. You can't say nothing wrong. Fuck you.
2-0 is 2-0.
Exactly.
I'm rooting y'all on. Yeah. I hate
Leonard?
every other team in that division.
Leonard, I heard you say you're taking the Cowboys, right?
You suck a fucking dick.
Cowboys by 6? Heard. Write it down.
Yeah, write it down. Dan.
I'm absolutely taking the Giants, man. It's all way out there.
So mad his voice cracked.
He's so mad. He's triggered. Big Dan.
I went for one.
It's going to be the Giants because fuck the Cowboys and Cooper Rush sucks ass.
Richard.
Hey, that is
go Giants, go.
That is Central Michigan Chippewa alum Cooper Rush.
But he does
still have. You're right. Just had to add that in.
Against the Cowboys.
What, the statement that Cooper Rush sucks?
They're going to beat them by
handily?
Handily.
Dom.
That word.
I'm torn. I really think the Giants are going to win, but I think something crazy happens and the Cowboys win, but I'm still going with the Giants.
Cowboys by 14, Quinn Cook says. Parsons sacks Jones 9 times. Just for you, Dan Leonard.
Timeout. You know what? And I hope you get jail secked with the cactus.
I'm pretty sure, as it stands right now after 2 weeks, Andrew Thomas is the highest rated left tackle in the NFL.
Yes, he is.
Good for you, Andrew Thomas.
Welcome back, Andrew Thomas. You made it worth your first round pick.
Welcome back. Welcome to. Back would mean he's been there before.
He was good last year, but he wasn't that good.
Don't call it a comeback.
Right
Upset. I'll take New York. Believe it or not. Wait. He says upset. Believe it or not, the Giants are favored by 2.5 points.
Yep.
Wait, is that the Jerry Dome or that?
It is. It's on that nasty field in East Rutherford, New Jersey.
What an official nickname for that field?
How about Leg Injury Lane?
I like that. The Lil?
The Lil. Leg Injury Lane. That's it.
Or the Lift, Leg Injury Field.
Giants, the only thing that Dallas has is cheerleaders, and they are not that good either.
Exactly. Fuck the Cowboys.
He always says that they're not that good because he can't.
It's just because they said no.
The Cowboys have what, two more playoff wins than us this century?
Yeah,
because they have 2 and we have none.
Yeah.
The fucking Cowboys.
Facebook user says the IR field.
As much as I hate that team and a lot of their fan base, I've gotten to know a lot. Like, a lot of my pretty good friends are Cowboys fans, and they're like good, smart, realistic Cowboy fans.
Well, I'm going to actually take us back on a little bit of history here. America's Team My Ass. I've hated that coin name since its conception. Well, it was Jerry Jones that coined it for him in 96.
Recoined
it. It was John Madden who coined Detroit as America's team when they smacked Dallas in the mouth in the playoffs in 1991. Let's get it right.
For the rest of my life, I'm going to be pissed off at Big Dan that was the first game he ever saw. Like, first game you ever saw, and it was the only playoff game we won in fucking
forever.
Half a century.
I was like 7 or 8 years old, and
well, not quite half a century. It was actually 34 years at that time.
I would trade you all 8 of Barry's last 8 home games just to see that game.
We whooped Dallas's ass that game. It was great.
31-6.
They got jail sexed.
And here's the crazy thing.
Game.
Here's the crazy thing. That's the only playoff touchdown Barry Sanders ever scored.
We also jail sexed them in the regular season that year.
And Brian Roy says, I agree, Smoke.
Smoke them if you got them.
Okay, we're to the final game where we're going to do the score predictions. I'm going to start with Dom. Detroit at Minnesota. What you got?
What's the line right now?
Lions are getting 6.
We're favored by 6?
Yes.
No, we're getting 6.
Oh, okay. All right. So
we're the underdog.
Back to the norm.
Yeah, we're the underdog.
Same old Lions.
I mean, this is one of those ones that I thought we would lose when I first looked at the schedule. But Jeremy, you kind of convinced me that we could win it because it's early in the season and it's with a new head coach, new coordinator, new scheme, blah, 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 all that. You guys are going to hate me, but I'm picking the Vikings. Final score, 35-30. We lose, but still cover the spread.
Richard Head.
I can't be a homer. My name's not Andrew. I'm not just going to pick the Lions every week.
No, you can't. And honestly,
you like that, Leonard?
Loved it.
Dom, like you, I was originally going to take the Vikings on this one, and you laid out all the reasons I was going to roll with it. But at the same time, there's something about this game that after watching the Lions consistently put up that many points, I'm going to take the Lions on this 31-27.
Still cover
28.
the spread.
Yeah.
Dan? Big Dan?
No, you're right the first time. 27. That's 27? All we need.
Yeah.
That's all we need.
Well, I not to dwell on the past or anything, but when we played them last year, both those games came down to scores as time went off the clock. Game-winning scores, and I think the same happens here. I got Detroit 34, Minnesota 31 on a game-winning field goal by Seibert.
I was going to say I want to change my score, 27-24 Vikings. We hold them to 27, but we don't get those 28.
Leonard.
Just for the pure fact of every time I ever bet on the Lions, they
bet on the Lions.
So I'm going to bet on the Vikings, like 40-2.
Oh, that's even worse. You don't bet against the Lions.
No,
you don't bet against them.
Just
time out.
don't bet on Lions games. Forget everything I've ever said that ever mattered, and just remember that. Do not bet on Lions games.
No, I have Swift as my fantasy back, so now.
Oh, there you go, letting your fantasy teams cloud your judgment.
That's why I'm going to bet on the Vikings to win, because when I bet on the Lions, they always do the opposite. So I'm going to bet on the Vikings to win, so Swift has a huge day.
When you bet on the Lions game, you are opening Pandora's box. Literally anything could happen.
Well,
actually, wait. The last 3 years, you want to know something funny? Betting on the Lions against the spread has been the best bet in football for 3 straight years. They won 11. They won 11 back in 2020 against the spread. They won 12 last year, and I think in 2019 we covered all but 3 games.
Okay. You know what though? I did hit my parlay, my 1-game parlay on the Lions last week.
Yeah. So shut your whore mouth and get it right.
I'm still making my bet on the Vikings.
Okay. I'm taking the Lions, and they keep the scoring streak alive. And we get our first double-digit win because we hold them to 24 points, 35-24.
Honestly, I could see that. It's not going to be a low-scoring game.
No.
Nope. And you also bet the over because they're saying 49 points.
I don't think either defense is really going to stop either team, so that's
might come down to the fourth straight game where we score over 30 points. Yeah,
I was going to say like
35. I'm saying 4 straight at 35 because then it'll be the same as the 1953 season that takes 52 right out of it.
It could easily come down to like Big Dan said, a field goal at the end. Like the first 40, I can't even add. The first 59 minutes of the game might not even matter. It might just be about who has the ball last and does that kicker make the field goal.
Yep. Okay.
And there's history there.
31-28. Keegan Eckerd has 30-27 Lions. Lion King, when DJ Shark gets his legs under him and we have Minotron, we are rolling to the playoffs. Minotron.
I like that.
I like it too.
Minotron?
Brian Roy, Lions cover the spread and win the game. And DC 8091, I already started the comment. He goes, I'll fill you in on the trivia in the back chat. Hell yes, sir. That being said, we have done all our picks. Do we got any final thoughts? I'm going to start at the bottom of the room with Detroit. Dom, what are your final thoughts this week?
Oh, wait, I did still pick the Vikings, didn't I? Shame on me. No, there's final thoughts. Not even just like a reasonable chance, a very, very good chance that come Monday morning, when people used to have newspapers and look at the stats and then they look at the standings, there's a very good chance you'll see Detroit on top by themselves in first place. It's a winnable game.
Absolutely.
Go Lions. One pride.
Richard Head.
My final thoughts. I'm just gonna direct it towards the Lions and say pretty much this. You made a statement last week against Washington. You showed the NFL you are legitimate. This is another type of game you have to win. The lull game after.
Oh my God. Okay, I got to educate Joseph Host real quick. Dan Campbell already came out and just said it was a Charlie horse type of bruise. It's not a major injury. He's playing. Swift was full at practice today. He's playing. Oruwariye was limited. He's back playing again. The only one that's not playing off the O-line so far is Jonah Jackson because he may need surgery on his hand.
Right. Ragnow came back to practice.
Ragnow's back to practice too. That being said, if Ragnall's back, I would put Evan Brown in for Stenberg and leave Dan Skipper right where he's at.
I was going to say, what do you do there? I don't know.
I think Dan Skipper is your starting left guard for a while.
The big V effect for Dan Skipper, he wasn't good at tackle. He didn't make many teams, but you put him in at guard and boom, there you go.
Michael Huck, I love the fact that Jason Hansen getting nominated for the Hall of Fame for kickers. I love that it happened, but you're taken away from what's supposed to be the Friday Lions Man Cave chat, because I was actually going to bring up all 9 Detroit Lions that got nominated for the Hall of Fame.
I didn't even know about any of them.
Lomas Brown is another one.
Jason Hansen is what, like 5th all-time in scoring? Something like that?
Yeah, but he's a fucking kicker, dude. Nobody cares about that.
You had your shot last year, and you screwed the pooch.
Hey, you can start for the Michigan Panthers.
I was going to say, where's Tim Boyle right now?
He's on the practice squad.
Oh, that's right. Cool.
Lions 41.
Can we bring Louis Delmas to kill him in practice?
Yeah. I would love to. Yeah, I would love that. Put him on the practice squad defense.
Yeah, and just let him come kill Tim Boyle. Like, Tim Boyle died on the field today.
I would somehow do a GoFundMe to give him $1 million contract for that one practice.
Let Rodrigo ignore the hitting the red shirt rule and just let him like hip toss or power bomb him on the field.
Yeah, just fucking launch.
Yeah.
Willie McNeil's back and just give him the Randy Savage elbow drop from the top rope.
Flying elbow.
Yeah. Rodrigo is not Derwin James.
Rips his head off.
Oh, by the way, I got to bring this up. Heavy on the Lions had an article out calling Anzalone and Rodrigo Starsky and Hutch. We have a Hutch on the team. You can't give him that nickname. So therefore, I'm calling him the Iron Cowboy version of Iron Man, and it's Thor's alone.
I wonder if Rodrigo is going to roll into U.S. Bank Stadium on a horse because he showed up in a full-on cowboy suit to the Washington
passing game. Keegan Eckert comes in and says, passing game will be good. Vikings don't have a secondary. If we use that to the advantage, we will win our first double-digit game. That is exactly why I said that would happen, is because their secondaries beat up after Harrison Smith went down with that
Their
concussion.
pass rushers are very good, though.
And heavy on Detroit is low-level clickbait. I agree. That's why I'm giving them – it's Thor's alone and the Iron Cowboy Man.
I like that.
That's too much.
Big Dan, what's your last thought?
I got a long bus trip tomorrow ahead of me, fellas. It takes a full day to ride all the way to Minnesota, but I'm jacked up for it. I'll be partying with Viking and Lions fans all weekend.
That's awesome. Have fun. Report in Friday if you can, if you're not too tore up from the floor up.
Yeah.
Even if you are.
Yeah, come on in.
You better be.
I am I'm trying to be a little less TVMA and more towards R. We're going to have to start dropping the F-bomb every now and then because now I'm kind of...
No, you said dropping the F-bomb. Omitting the F-bomb.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
Here we go.
I thought about it too.
Tabor. I'm better than Okuda in your fucking dreams.
Well, you can't even spell Okuda, for one.
You couldn't hold Okuda's jock strap.
Listen, I was hyped about Tease Tabor.
I was until I saw him run a 4.740.
I thought he was going to, but I was like, he's big, he's slow, like Darius Slay. He can learn from Darius Slay. This was back when I didn't know or forgot
about football
that
he played with Florida.
Well, Florida corners is a death sentence. But when the first mocks came out,
called him a better bust.
When the first mocks came out, they had us taking Tabor in the first round. So when we got him in the second round, I was like, okay, that's value. But I also saw Jimmy Clausen and Alex Leatherwood at the top of early mocks. I knew Leatherwood was a bum, and Clausen. Shout out to Jimmy Clausen for getting a black eye when he was out to dinner on a Sunday night with his parents, and some irate Irish fan came into the restaurant, didn't even sucker punch him, like, looked him in the eye, and was like, "F you, Jimmy Clausen." Boom.
All right. Keegan Eckert said, if you can make a team tease, let me know when you come back from the dump truck.
He plays for Chicago. This is his second year with them.
When we drafted you, you played with Caldwell and Terrell Austin first, so shut your whore mouth.
He's on Chicago's roster. I have seen many Atis Tabor sightings in the last couple of years.
I thought he was on Atlanta's roster this year.
Did he go?
Because he had a pick. He had a pick in that game. In the preseason.
The fail cants?
Yeah.
I thought he was in Chicago still. I mean, I know he was last year and maybe the year before.
And then before that, he was a 49er when they went to the Super Bowl.
Seattle this year.
Oh,
Chicago
it's Seattle.
For 1 year. Detroit for us after being out of the league for 19 and 20.
Right.
I think he was on Frisco's practice squad.
Dan Leonard, what is your final thought of the day?
Oh, let's see. Book Geno Smith and go Giants.
Wow. Let go of your hate.
There is deep.
You're not even fast enough to run for Campbell's Starbucks. That's good. Keegan Eckert says he can make a team, but he doesn't play like it. That being said, my final thoughts is the same ones it is every show. Try every day to be a better person than you were the day before, because that's the only way to make the world a better place. It starts from within. This has been Kneecap Biting with Smokin Jeremy B. I want to say thanks to Russell Wayne, even though he couldn't stay. I want to say thanks to Mike Crabtree, who didn't show up because the Ravens were dog shit against Tua last week.
Embarrassed.
I want to say kudos to Dan Leonard and his Giants at being 2-0. I want to say thank you, Big Dan, and have a great trip. Be fun, represent one pride, Detroit versus everybody.
Hell yeah.
You can
thank you, Detroit Dom.
For
from
sure.
Sideline
Sports. As many beers as you want.
Wait,
in your back. Sideline Sports.
Sideline Sports, the NFL Carousel, and Basket Bros, and also with me with George Eichhorn and Scott Morganroth on Monday nights on Fire Up Michigan. And Richard Head, thank you for being a part.
Oh, yeah.
Have a great night. And we are going out shortly.